Welcome back to more Sip the Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Sam LaPorta, tight end for the Detroit Lions, a guy who's really starting to come into his own, a guy who's really making a name, making a push to be in that upper echelon of tight ends, a young guy, extremely young guy, a guy that has really displaying a lot of tools. You can see some George Kittle in him. You can see some Travis Kelsey in him. You see some Darren Waller in him. You see some Mark Andrews in him. You see attributes of all the top tight ends in Sam LaPorta already. And he's only going to get better. Only going to get better. Had a tremendous, and I mean tremendous game versus the Saints this past week. And let's really just take a look at his stats so far, on the season. Starting off, sitting at 86 catches. I'm sorry, 86 targets, 64 catches, 679 yards, 10.6 yards per catch, along with 48 with 6 TDs. This last game versus the Saints, which is a game we're going to kind of take, we got 5 clips from we're going to look at here in a second. 9 catches, 140 yards. Now, we know the Lions have been finding a bunch of different ways to win games offensively. They beat you with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They beat you with David Montgomery. They beat you with Jahmyr Gibbs. They beat you with a combination of all those guys. They beat you with, what's the speedy guy? Jameson, what's Jameson's last name? I can't think of Jameson's last name, but they beat you with him. And now you add LaPorta in the mix. They just got a plethora of guys on offense that they can beat you with, on top of the fact that even though I named all them guys, none of that's the strength of their offense. The strength of their offense is their O-line. But LaPorta gonna fit right in with that because he'll get in there and do the dirty work blocking. He don't mind getting out of there, blocking on the edge as far as like with screens and stuff like that. And he'll catch the freaking football. But let's go into some of the stuff he did versus the Saints and show you, what he do to kind of why I want to do this video on him. Let's go ahead and get it up. All right, first play right here. Take a look at it. That's him coming in motion. And really, just a simple concept. They're gonna run Reynolds through the middle of the formation to try to clear it out. Then you're gonna get LaPorta gonna come through and pretty much run that same trail, but really, Reynolds is gonna clear all that out. He's gonna take the safety with him and all that, and then LaPorta just gonna come right through. See how Reynolds clears out? Look at all this, focus on Reynolds right here. He's just gonna clear all that out, and LaPorta's gonna hit that gap right in there. Boom. And by the time they react to it, because you see him, right? Like number one, I think that's Alontae Taylor. You see him trying to react to it, but it's too late. He just finds the spacing. Look at that hands catch. Just snatch that thing out the air. Because that's a dart by Jared Goff. That's a freaking dart. He just snatched that thing out the air. Bam. Find the end zone. Great route. And the reason I put this in there because the reason he can change, the way he can change directions being a tight end. Look at that. And again, he ain't running full speed. He's just running just fast enough to make the timing work. Because look at the spacing. Look at the spacing. You got these are the options. They took him, which is what they did. So if this guy right here, and they high low on this dude, especially with those three taking him. If he sits on Amon-Ra St. Brown, which he does, LaPorta fits right behind him. And that's what happens. And if he drops back on LaPorta, Jared Goff could have threw this ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He takes Amon-Ra, who is the bigger threat because LaPorta's a secondary guy. This is their main guy right there. And he fits right in there, just finding the gap for the touchdown. Let's go to play 2. Top side. And again, it's working the zones. Just working the zones, which is what he's good at. What up, Big Reg? What up, Brandon? Just working the zones. A staple of any tight end, just work the middle of the field. Working the zones. And again, look at the hands. The ball's not getting to his body. Snatch. Protect himself. Snatch. Brace. Protect themselves. Now, again, made a guy miss. Getting yak. Getting yak. Getting yak. Any tight end that's athletic enough to catch the ball and continue to get yardage, aka Kelsey, aka Waller, aka Kittle, sometimes Mark Andrews. I even can even throw Hawkinson in the mix right now. Getting yak from a tight end, great. It's great that they can get open over the middle of the field and get you 8, 9, 10 yards a pop. But if they can turn that 8 or 9, 10 yards into 15, 20, 30, it's going to do wonders for your team. It's going to do wonders for your team. Third play in that game. And again, he had 9 catches for 140. I'm not going to show you all 9 of them. But again, look at it. Look where they lined him up at. As an outside receiver. This is LaPorta up here. Lined up as an outside receiver. He's going to run a little end cut. Off coverage. He's run a little end cut. And right here, at this point, he knows all he got to do is make sure this guy can't cut him off. That's all he got to do. So his job is to come down that line. And you can even come down closer to the QB to make sure you keep that space. Make sure this guy don't undercut you. But with him being so far off, he can kind of level that thing out because he know he can't jump it. Level it out. Bam. Hands catch again. Look. Now, with this one, because the guy's so far off, he's already working up the field to try to turn this into something else. And again, yak. Yak. That's another, 5 yards after the catch? They were behind the chains because they were right here. So now they ended up with a 10-yard gain. So I don't know what the down and distance was, but off a 2 or 3 yard throw, they ended up getting 10 yards. A safe throw at that. Because Poston Debo was playing off. That's what you get. You get safe. Tight ends are your safety valve. Tight ends are your safety valve. I know. Look at the release. Watch the release right here. Again, good footwork by a tight end. Square him up, jab outside. Look at that. Look at the hands. Not just the feet. The hands go with it. Look at that right hand. Slap that hand down. Get my shoulders by. I just keep working. Just keep working. Get to the top of my route. He guessing now. The DB guessing. At this point right here, the DB guessing. He don't know where he went. Good stack too. Good stack by LaPorta. At this point, he can go anywhere. He can keep going forward. He can break out. He can break in. He can break post. He can break corner. The DB is at his mercy. So he gave him a little foot fire and go one way or the other. Which he did. He got space. Ball delivered. It's a great route. Great route. Now, he didn't get any yak on that, but that route was amazing. Especially when he stacked him and kind of got back on top of him. Because look, he's inside of him. Now look at him lean back outside to get on top of him. Like right there, he can go anywhere. He can go anywhere he wants to at that point, and the DB's at his mercy. Great route by the tight end, by LaPorta. We're going to wrap it up with this one right here. Bring Gibbs in motion. And they're just losing. Right here. He do a good job of shrugging off that bump. He's going to take the coverage with him. He's just going to get right up under it and go out there because he stays flat on Gibbs. They just lost him. Because look, he don't know what to do. Because he got Gibbs right there. He should peel off that and come here, but he doesn't. He continues to ride the receiver. Look at him wide open. Now, this is probably the least work he did for a route, but he got the most gain out of it. That's probably the least work he did for a route, but got the most gain out of it. Now, again, this is the guy. Let me get this back, get my numbers back up here. These are great numbers for this stage in the game. There's a lot of wide receivers out there that don't have numbers like this. And he's a tight end putting them up. Look consistently. You can almost bet how many games is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can pretty much count on five catches from LaPorta a game, anywhere from 50 to 60 yards. You can pretty much book that. And that's great to have out of your tight end, especially a young tight end at that. So, again, the Lions just adding on to their offensive repertoire. They got Gibbs, they got Montgomery in the backfield. Out wide, they got Jameson. What's Jameson's last name? Williams, maybe? Whatever Jameson is from I think he's from Alabama. Fast dude. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Reynolds is okay. But LaPorta ain't far from being mentioned in the upper echelon. He ain't far. If he continue, he gives you another year of this, because it's 5 games left. He could push 90 catches. Especially depending on how Detroit plays, because they've been playing behind and even with some teams, so they have to throw it a lot. So he could push 90 catches, and for a guy at this level, at this stage in the game, to beat that, hey, salute Detroit Lions for having a good pickup. I like that pick a lot better than the middle linebacker. But I ain't gonna even go in that soapbox again. That's another discussion for another day. So I appreciate you guys for coming through. If you like the video, and hit that bell. And when you subscribe, so you can be notified when the rest of these videos drop throughout the 2023 season. And grab a link, share it all out to the Detroit Lions fans. Because I know at the beginning of the season, I was like, they're gonna fall off the cliff. Thought they was gonna be the 31st ranked team in the NFL. Again, I admitted early in the season I was wrong. Detroit Lions, a damn good football team, sitting at 9-3. And I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace and love.